The book I'll be presenting today is entitled Total Recall. This book evaluates the question how the e-memory revolution will change everything. Furthermore, the man being remembered, Jim Gray, is a significant part that helps further justify the efficiency of being able to obtain total recall. As although Jim Gray is no longer alive, many of the methods of obtaining e-memory make it seem as though he never left. Now here's a short slide about the information about the publication rights and the author of the book. The authors of the book are Gordon Bell and Jim Gemmill, and this was published September 2009. So here's my table of contents, and in my presentation, in the summary, I'll be talking about the message of the book and what the authors were essentially trying to convey. Then I'll move on to talking about the three sections of the book that I focused on: the vision, everyday life, and afterlife, and finally, the future of total recall. Then I'll be discussing the various social and ethical issues with the use of the IT systems and the effect that has on various stakeholders. Then I'll talk about the author's point of view and various arguments raised. And finally, I'll conclude with my thoughts on total recall and whether or not its overall effect is positive or negative towards society. Now, the way I felt to best summarize the novel Total Recall, I just thought of 2 points, which were essentially questions. What is total recall, and how the e-memory revolution will change everything? Total recall provides a glimpse of the near future. For example, imagine heart monitors woven into your clothes and tiny wearable audio and visual readers automatically capturing what you see and hear. Imagine being able to summon up the e-memories of your great-grandfather and his avatar giving you advice about whether or not to go to college, or even whether or not you should get married. The range of potential insights is truly phenomenal, but Bell and Jamel also show how you can begin to take better advantage of this new technology right now. From how to navigate the serious question of privacy and serious problem of application compatibility to what kind of startup Bell is willing to invest in and which scanner he prefers. This is a book about a turning point in human knowledge as well as an immediate practical guide. Total Recall is a technological revolution that will accomplish nothing less than a transformation in the way humans think about the meaning of their lives. Now, the first chapter of the book is entitled The Vision. The authors basically split it up into two parts, which explain the three streams of technology that are essential towards e-memory or ever present towards e-memory the fact that total recall is a concept that is optional as opposed to something that is forced upon society. So in this chapter, the authors bring up the fact that we forget stuff, that we're not certain to remember everything all the time. So then they create an ideal situation of what if we didn't have to forget anything anymore, but had complete control over what we remembered. They believe that we will be able to have the capacity of total recall and total control, giving us the ability to achieve as much or as little as we desire. This is essentially through the use of three streams of technology. The first aspect of this stream of technology is the accessibility to recording more of our lives through the use of digital cameras, email, cell phones. Secondly, the new personal digital records can now be stored more cheaply than can easily be imagined. For example, for $200, we can own enough memory to store everything we read. Now you got to understand that this book was published in 2009, so at that time, yes, this was possible. Third, technology is enabling us to search and analyze, as a result, making presenting data easier. With this being said, it is apparent that with all these means of technology that one day we will be able to obtain total recall. Furthermore, they bring up the fact that the movement of total recall is optional as opposed to an idea that is unwillingly forced onto society. For example, the ease of regaining this lost knowledge and most importantly, the aspiration or prospect of having full control of our memories. Now what they're trying to say is that although that this concept, this revolution is optional, it is in our best interest to move towards the side of e-memory because of the ease of being able to obtain total recall. Part 2 is entitled Everyday Life, Everyday and Afterlife. In this chapter, the authors refer to sensitive and emotional aspects of the idea and how we can also, the easiest ways to obtain total recall, which is through recording and storytelling. And personally, for me, in this chapter, something very interesting came up, which was digital immortality. The authors discuss the struggles behind losing precious mementos as they pass from generation to generation. However, these gifts can be stored forever. Although it's not the same as having the original artifact, it is a much better option than having it gone forever. With this being said, these memories can be stored through collecting countless digital artifacts. This essentially refers to recording and storytelling. The effectiveness of this idea as a form of remembrance is immense. This is because recording gives us the ability to share our various experiences with those who are unable to be there with us, literally giving us the ability to retell our story to every last detail. Furthermore, the novel mentions sections about immortalizing and memories of Jim Gray. The idea behind this is to exemplify how simple it is through the assistance of e-memory to potentially be capable of remembering majority of what one who passed away did in their lifetime. Thus, by obtaining all of Jim's memories, achievements, and experiences, it is almost as if he never truly left. The effectiveness of this is as a form of e-memory is truly special. It's because of being able to once again appreciate the legacy of the dead to great precision. Bell and Jamel describe digital immortality as a hypothetical concept of saving an individual's personality in a more durable media such as a computer. In other words, digital immortality may be achieved by saving a person's consciousness into computers, effectively allowing a person to communicate with people in the future. The result of digital immortality would look like an avatar behaving, reacting, and thinking like a person according to that individual's digital archive. Even after death, the person's avatar may either continue to learn and develop or remain static. Now, personally, the prospect of digital immortality has developed my interest in total recall. Digital immortality is a unique idea that enables us to send messages to future generations from a history. Now, from a history perspective, assume that digital immortality was already in existence. If I could hear someone like Martin Luther King give one of his speeches, that would help me to better understand the significance of what he was saying. Additionally, his messages helped me better understand the society and environment in which he lived. Now, the third section is entitled The Future, and here the authors discuss various problems of adapting towards the side of total recall, and then moving on in the chapter, they talk about preparing for total recall, which discusses various equipments that we need, and finally the outcome of total recall. Our adaptation to technology refers to the fact of are we willing rather than are we capable. This is simply because of how e-memory is meant to be accessed at ease. However, if an individual isn't willing to adapt, change, and move with technology, then this creates a problem, not with technology itself, but with that individual. For example, data loss and decay. This is when a computer crashes and as a result, we lose data. Even though this may seem as a negative, depending on the last time you backed up that file, your e-memory will recover the data as far as then. Furthermore, the three main stages of adaptation include self-knowledge, recording in court, and recording in court. Adapting to self-knowledge is vital for us to accept the concept of total recall. Self-knowledge refers to information about an individual. With this being said, we prefer information that happened in the past to stay in the past. However, the importance of adapting to self-knowledge is the fact that it is here to help as opposed to cause harm. Moreover, the idea of having to adapt to our information being potentially used in court is a daunting prospect. This is because of how anything we have previously mentioned can easily be picked up. However, this forces us to be more careful and appropriate on the web. Now preparing for total recall. The equipments that are discussed in this section include smartphones, GPSs, digital cameras, personal computers, internet connection, and scanners. All these devices are essentially towards not only total recall, but also reduction of the use of paper. For example, the importance of a scanner is that it can help digitize anything we have on paper. Also, with the help of optical character recognition, it can pick up specific texts that we want. Now, another important part to the future of total recall is the idea of live logging, a way of obtaining your memory. Live logging refers to the process of capturing moments to add to your e-memories. For example, using your digital camera to capture moments worth remembering. Furthermore, this part also discusses the importance of health logging. The process behind logging your health is simple, as all you have to do is create a document of all the key statistics about your health. Additionally, it not only encourages you to get involved in various activities, it acts as a warning of potential illnesses and diseases. Now, with the whole idea of total recall, there are social issues involved. A major social issue with this concept is privacy. Privacy is an issue which arises from the fact that we are constantly recorded and are recording. Now, once we upload our recordings to be saved in a file, we are never certain of who else has access to our files, thus breaching our privacy, essentially raising another question about the reliability and integrity of the product. Is because if the technology fails to explain in their policies where their online files are going, and how can an individual trust that certain IT system? Furthermore, another apparent issue being cultural diversity. This is because as people gain control of more advanced IT systems to better obtain their e-memories, they lose touch of their traditions/origins. Moreover, ethical issues involved in the idea of total recall. Now, assuming an individual's private e-memory gets hacked, this raises the ethical question who is responsible and who is accountable for. Now, assuming that it came down to an individual's carelessness with their privacy, for example, discussing their passwords to their files to a third party, then they are responsible and accountable for the details being exposed. However, if it came down to producers' product obtaining a lack of security, then they are at fault. Now, the stakeholders apparent in this, of course, society and people who use IT system to help them better their memories. Now, the advantages of e-memory are clear, such as being able to have infinite knowledge, infinite memory, constant ability to go back in the past and pick up things that you wanted to use in the present day. However, also there's also negative factors that make the use of the idea of total recall negative, such as the idea of privacy and also the fact that we can be hacked. So the author's point of view. So from the author's point of view, they say that total recall is the key to success, is the way forward, and anyone who decides to go against it is basically their loss. The book essentially concludes with a section that discusses the author's opinion on the future of total recall. With this being said, they envision a future where total recall will become a private matter as opposed to public, where encryptions will be universal and e-memories will reside in Swiss banks. However, if e-memory becomes more of a public matter through social media such as Facebook and Twitter, this will essentially turn life logging into life blogging, enabling detailed records of our lives, including our location and biometrics, effectively exposing our every move to the world to see. Total recall is like as throughout the entire book, it is clear that total recall is the way forward. This is simply because of how easy it is to obtain infinite knowledge. How the problem arises once we start abusing it. One of the big arguments mentioned in this novel was that if the computer crashes, what do I do? Now, the beauty of total recall is the fact that there are several ways to back up. Most efficient way is through the use of redundant array of inexpensive disks. Another valid argument about eMemory, of course, is a simple quote that was stated in the book. More data does not imply more better quality. And then the authors then came up with a reply that, however, flawed human memories do not imply quality decisions. So my conclusion. Personally, the concept of total recall is something that I feel is essential to human development. This is simply because of the obvious advantages in being able to obtain absolute memory. For example, the ability to recover particular events, names, faces, and words. Additionally, I believe through our digital memories to uncover patterns in our lives. For example, our work, leisure, and spending habits. The importance of these advantages is that we can trace back how or why we became bankrupt, how to better maintain our fitness. However, there are also major disadvantages to concept of total recall because of the issues with privacy. For example, with telephones, if we get recorded, we don't know where these recordings go or who exactly is using them. So, in my opinion, I believe that total recall has more benefits than negatives towards society, and the idea that everybody should seek should is the idea that everybody should follow. Thank you for listening.